Hi there, so I've been with the Full Circle Business. In this episode of 3 and 3, I want to talk about something that's kind of been lingering in the background that we haven't spoken about yet, but maybe a potential issue in the future, and that is a recession. So we've kind of heard it through the pipeline here and there, predicted that there may be a recession potentially or a little bit of a slowdown in 2024. And so I want to talk now about what you can do potentially to prepare for that ahead of time and not be as devastated as if you pretend it's not coming. So, number one, I am not a financial advisor, but I'm going to share a couple of tips and you can take them with a grain of salt, use what makes sense to you, look into it, and go from there. So, number one is the best time to ask for money is when you don't need money. If you don't have a line of credit in place already, now might be a good time to go to the bank and get that squared away and set up. So, if for some reason, 12, 15, 18 months from now, things do slow down, and you have a little bit of a cash flow issue, which we talked about in the last episode, you do have that line of credit in place and ready to use if necessary. So just something to think about if that's not on your to-do list currently. Number two is marketing. So if there is a recession predicted, the best thing to do is continue to market your business heavily now. Do as much work as you can. Like I said last time, we talked about revenue versus cash flow. Get as much cash in the bank and let it stay. Just let it sit there and have that kind of extra pot, that extra cushion available so that if there is a slowdown, you're covered for a few more months than you would normally be given the ebb and flow of your business. So market, market, market. Make sure you're staying in front of your ideal customer, filling out your schedule as far out in advance as possible, and to help mitigate potentially, like I said, that slowdown. And number three is a budget. So if you don't have a detailed budget already, I highly suggest when you're done watching this video, you go back and look for my Women for Women episode 5, where I speak with a dear friend, Linnea Blair, who's in the financial side of consulting and helps contractors with budgeting and finances and making sure they're on target with their goals. If you have that budget already and it's line itemed, you can go ahead, and I like to play a game called What If. So what if we hire a production manager? What does that do to our numbers? What if we hire a new salesperson? What if we do that? What would that do to our numbers? What if there is a slowdown and we don't quite have as many man hours as we thought, and we don't quite have the workload we thought? So if you have a budget in place, make a copy of it. Mine is in Excel, so it's easy to just do a save as and rename it and play around with it and see what could potentially happen on the good side of things, and also potentially if there's a slowdown and you don't quite have as much work as you do now. Having that in your head ahead of time gives you an opportunity to kind of plan and maybe come up with some new and creative ideas to kind of, like I said, mitigate that dip and maybe keep things a little bit more level. If you're not floating high in the water in 2024, that's okay, as long as you're staying even and you're getting through the year. And then you have the opportunity to catch that wave and the uptick that's going to come after the recession. One things I did learn in a big meeting I was in a few months ago is there is this ebb and flow to the economy that just kind of goes through its cycle and starts over again. We never quite know how long each position in that ebb and flow is going to last, and that those different levels, but it is kind of cyclical, just like our businesses are. So the more prepared you are, the easier it is to, like I said, navigate, make those changes, and not do them in a position of like chaos and crisis, but thinking through and planning a little bit in advance for, like I said, what if, and then kind of playing with the numbers, seeing what happens, and having a couple scenarios in mind in the event that things start to shift and change in the future. So again, Women for Women, episode 5, hop over and watch that. Then you can reach out to Linnea Blair if you need some additional help with that budget tool. Anything else I can help you with, you can find me on all the platforms. Send me an email, book a discovery call on my website, and I look forward to the opportunity to help you get from stressed to streamlined.